And we're back with more games of the Korean Qualifier. Another match in the losers bracket, everybody. Jay's Lineage and the Boo by Theory are playing against each other. Another best of 5. The Koreans trying to qualify for the offline event in Miami, but for the first time in forever, we're going to have Korea, North America, and Europe facing off against each other in an offline environment. So now on the left side here in Towers of Doom, our first map, we got Greyman, Andrew, and Sylvanos for the blue team together with Diablo and Blaze. Whereas on the right side of the map right now, it's currently Garrosh. You got Tychus, Dehaka, Genji, and Rega playing here. And there's a couple of things to say. So I pointed this out already once. Jay's Lineage is a team that I misnamed in the first match of the Korean Qualifier that I commentated accidentally. I called them Boo by Theory, and yeah, I just mixed some of the names up in the overlay, and I didn't realize it until everything was already said and done. So just in case that you are asking yourself, like, hey, have we seen these guys already? Yes, indeed, you saw them. They claimed a very, very solid 3-0 victory over their opponents in the first match that I uploaded from the Korean Qualifier. And of course, the real Boo by Theory also witnessed once, and that's the team of Hooligan here. Both of these teams in the losers bracket, both of these teams have already shown very convincingly that they are able to go through some opponents like hot butter through cheese. So it was pretty crazy. And this could be an interesting match, therefore, because both of them won without dropping a single map. So we'll see who claims the next round. We still have some of the absolute favorites that we're going to see later on in the tournament. As I already explained to you, we have some real heavy hitters that are playing for some of the teams that currently find themselves still in the losers bracket. Which is, by the way, the next match that we're going to cast in the qualifier. Next match will be the winner bracket final. And amongst others, we have Day, Dami, Spell, and Reset playing in those, so some real heavy hitters from the old HGC era. And if you're not quite familiar with what this is, so this is the Korean Qualifier for the Heroes International. $11,000 of prize money are on the line for the event, and there will be more online qualifiers for each region for Europe and North America as well. And the teams that qualify, they also win a trip to the event itself, so that we have the big thing in Miami in the middle of October, which you can, by the way, attend. So if you watch this on YouTube, I'm going to put some links into the description that you can check out if you want to know when the qualifiers take place. Maybe you want to qualify or try to qualify, participate yourself, or maybe you just want to combine that with a bit of a trip to Miami, or you live close by and want to visit the event, shake hands with a couple of players and casters too. So you're more than welcome to do that. Links will be in the description. And another link that I'm also going to pack into the description is for a Gofundme. We have a crowdfunding campaign going on for a bit of community support. If you would like to help make the event better, make the production better, then help would definitely be appreciated. And the cool thing about it is that every single dollar that gets donated will be doubled by our sponsors. So for every 10, the sponsors will put in an extra 10. So it's actually a pretty sweet deal. And everything that we get that we don't need for production will go to charity. Especially important, of course, for our American friends here. Until death and taxes do us apart. But yeah, with 3 kills to 0, the Boo by Theory already looking pretty good here against Jay's Lineage. So right from the get-go, we have 3 kills for them. The first altar phase is already popping up, and thanks to the kill count in their favor, they have a slight advantage also in experience. And that should actually help them with an early level 7. Quite helpful for that battle that we are seeing around the third altar, now down at the bottom of the map. In regards to the compositions that are being played here, both teams currently with a double front line, so main tank plus side laner. We get, as usual, the Master Assassin for Tychus. Obviously, you're looking for the passive increase on the attack speed. The Koreans really love to do this. One of the things that actually caused the Europeans to adapt a lot when it came to their Tychus builds was an event in Korea roughly half a year ago, after which the Europeans then also started to slowly pick up on Master Assassin. Didn't get to be the exclusive talent to be taken on level 4, but it was definitely a solid pick. And Hooligan's team is just absolutely smashing it right out of the gate here. 5 kills to 0 by now. They took 2 out of the 3 altars, and now they're pushing for the bell tower at the bottom of the map already. So it's actually a pretty impressive performance here. They are definitely not wasting any time. On the side of Jay's Lineage, by the way, just a couple of the names here, since of course all of the account names are currently, or most of the account names are in Hangul. They're playing with Jo Jung-hee, which is apparently Jay, so that's why we're talking about Jay's lineage here. That's where the team name stems from. We got Fart Boy, 1992. I honestly don't know how that name came to pass, but I also don't want to know, if I'm completely honest with you. Rosaya is playing Mio Kim, and Let's Go, as well as Thundersword, is on the lineup here. Each team can have up to 6 players, of course. Yeah, the action continues. I mean, right now we're having the Bubai Theory looking towards level 10, so with the rogue abilities it could go even further here. You can tell that especially Diablo is, of course, also struggling a little bit going up against Tychus here, despite the fact that we don't have the bigger they are on level 4, but still a huge threat with that single target damage that he can burst out, especially after Garrosh gets a good flip over, which is of course also quite important. And so far Hooligan has been doing a fantastic job just creating kill opportunities for the team. With level 10, they find themselves out in the absolute best position possible here. The next altar phase, with the 2 altars that we see on the map, should be an easy grab for them. And the blue team is struggling to retake that bell tower, and I don't think this is gonna happen anytime soon. That's already 5 shots fired, thanks to the first altar being grabbed, and another 5 will follow. They have a huge gap that they need to bridge. This is not going to be easy. Yeah, already Tychus with the channel. He's making it happen. Another 5 shots fired. They're down to 22 to 36. Now this is of course the comeback map in the pool, in the map pool of Heroes of the Storm. So if you get a bit of late game momentum, then you can always bring it back. But it's going to be very interesting to see if they can pull this off or not here. 2 kills against Sylvanas, 2 kills against Diablo, the Lord of Terror being a little bit terrified here. That's, by the way, Fart Boy himself. So yeah, so much for that. Great spray, by the way. Maybe not the perfect map for it, but drop that one on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and you already have a leg up here for sure. Half a level until Jay's lineage is able to lock level 10 abilities in, so then they can try and fight back. Until now, of course, they had to just sit tight, try and defend, and hope that they don't lose too much. It's pretty much impossible to fight against an opponent when you don't have heroic abilities, and they already do. So that's now the perfect opportunity to try and bring this back. But another 3 pumpkins are on the way, and they're gonna try to get those connected as well. So already Hooligan up here at the front. Diablo gets flipped in. As the damage any second now. The pumpkins are slowly being taken down, and level 10 abilities are finally available for Jay's lineage, which now gives us, amongst other things, the light bomb for Anduin. We also got Go for the Throat here. So a lot more Greymane than we've seen in the European scene. Even though, I have to say, Greymane gets played quite a bit in Europe now again. Especially on maps like Battlefield of Eternity, you every now and then see him pop up depending on the ban patterns that the 2 teams go for. But the blue team is still looking for kill number 1. They're still looking for the first kill here. Once again, the attack. Diablo with a light bomb, but he goes down. The Lord of Terror dead again. Didn't even have the soul, so he's down for the count. Not gonna come back anytime soon. Anduin gets also demolished. The Wailing Arrow of Sylvanas a bit too late, and Greymane himself gets also taken apart. It's a triple kill, baby. Nicely done. Yeah, so they get another 3 kills, and boy, that's a 2-level lead and 8 kills to 0. As I said before, both of these teams won their match in the losers bracket, the previous match in the losers bracket, with a 3-0, but it seems that the Bubai Theory is just a step ahead of Jay's lineage, at least for the first map of this best of 5 series. So yeah, this is pretty rough going at this point. The blue team, they would need a small miracle in order to bring this one back. And after dominating the bot lane for such a long time, what we're now seeing from the red team is an attempt to maybe even get some pressure going in the mid and the top lane. But at least that bell tower is about to be taken back. There's the taunt though with the Warlord's challenge, and once again another kill. Down goes Diablo. He's a meek little kitten in this game. Here comes the light bomb, but Anduin will fall too. Yeah, you can't frontline with Anduin. He just doesn't know how to handle himself in melee combat. That's why he stays in the backline and throws a little bit light around. So we got a 3-level lead soon, and it's 11 kills to 0. It is a massacre. And they are already about to retake that bell tower down at the bottom of the map, going for it pretty much immediately. We got the Way of the Shimada on level 13 now for Genji. Started things off with the Agile Dismount and with the Cyber Shield here. And is just absolutely doing work. 15 to 13. They are miles ahead of the opponent. And now there's another altar popping up. That's potentially another 5 shots fired. They're still dominating, of course, the pumpkins, which is one of the main reasons why you want to control the bot lane. You have 2 pumpkin cams moving through it, and that helps you to get additional pressure against the opponent, to get a few shots fired too, and they are abusing that ruthlessly. And Dehaka is still at the top, so they have also a global advantage here. They have Dehaka who can continue pressuring the top bell tower. And then later on in the game, when there is a team fight at the bot lane, he can always come back in and try and take them down here. So that's exactly what's happening. Korean games have been pretty entertaining so far, especially, of course, when we're thinking about that last best of 5 and the Cho'Gall cheese on Sky Temple. That was pretty fun, even though it didn't quite work out, but it was very, very close and quite entertaining. And there it is, the kill! Round of applause! Genji goes down, taken apart by Greymane. They finally lock a kill in. It comes at a cost as they are losing 3. They're losing 4. They might lose everybody. And they do. 5-man team wipe. Everybody dead. Diablo came back because this time he has the souls. But yep, there it is. So right now the shots are fired. They're trying to escort a few more of these pumpkins in too. Diablo trying to go for another kill. Can't make that happen either. Pumpkins connect. We're down to single digits on the core for Jace lineage. And the Bubai Theory is in a dominant position. 3 levels ahead. They have a level 16 talent advantage. On top of that, it's 16 kills to 1, which is absolutely bonkers. Garrosh at this point going a bit for a handicap apparently, not locking in his level 16 talent. And by the way, if it continues at pace, then Tychus is actually going to complete the Master's Assassin, which in and of itself is kind of ridiculous. Again, if you pick Master's Assassin, it's not because you think that you are going to complete the quest talent. It's more so you want to have the passive, and it also applies to Odin, so that's a huge boon. But yeah, if you have a game like this, then of course it's an added benefit if you're able to lock that in. Not that they need it. I mean, let's be honest. If you're able to complete Master Assassin, that usually means you've won the game anyways. But either way, he's currently sitting at 13, so we might see completion. We have the talent advantage right now. And the next phase is a triple altar phase, which technically means that the Bubai Theory could decide the game there in their favor if they just lock in 2 of the altars, which is honestly reasonable. So that's definitely something that you could try to pull off. So the blue team, they need a fight, they need it quickly. They need some kills here or they're going to be in real trouble. But at this point, here comes again the next big team fight. They're trying to use that big advantage in levels, in stats, and in talent. As they're coming in again with a kill. This time Rhaegar's the first one to fall on the second kill for Jace lineage, but they lose Sylvanas. The support gone for the red team, though, and that's a bit of a problem. But the fight continues quickly, and now they're flipping Diablo in the tower range too. Another problem for them. A hooligan somehow still alive. I have no idea how. They're going in for their kill with Genji, but they can't quite get it. I have no idea how Diablo and Anduin both survived, but somehow they did. Level 16 talents are available for Jace lineage, and they're fighting tooth and nail to try and hold on to this game for just a little bit longer. 5 shots are fired. That puts the core down to 4 and down to the bottom of the map. Already the kill against Blaze. The quest completed, and that is a game, ladies and gentlemen, as Dehaka channels and game number 1 is taken by the Bubai Theory against Jace lineage here in the loser bracket of the Korea Qualifier for the Heroes International.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2, the best of 3 continues, and Jace lineage. Yeah, they needed a break after the last one because they got a bit of a beating there. They needed to tend to some wounds and bruising and put some aloe vera on those burns because damn, that was a stomp. Bubai Theory with the big guns there. Now an all direct pass, second map of the best of 5. We got Greymane and Orphea for the damage on the side of the blue team, with Jojo, Leo, and Stukov rounding out the draft for Jace lineage. And the Bubai Theory with Maiev, Nubarak, Rega, Sylvanas, and Dehaka. Alright, let's go. Now, once again, a bit of a caveat here. A lot of people get always super excited whenever they see Koreans play, and of course for a good reason. A lot of the top Korean players have always been on top of the game and the best games in the best teams in the game. But keep in mind that we are actually here now in a qualifier where, at least in these rounds and also here in the losers bracket, it is a little bit questionable if all of those combos that we're seeing and all of those picks in regards to heroes are also going to hold up when we're entering, let's say, the winner bracket final or the grand final or even the losers bracket final, because quite a lot of the teams that are participating in the qualifier are a little bit outmatched by the kings of old. Back then when we answered the question, can gods bleed? And yes, the Koreans, they've definitely shown every now and then a little bit of weakness in the later days of HGC, but it didn't mean that they weren't still strong enough to beat every other region. So right now we got our second game in the best of 5. This is the losers bracket, as I said, here at the Heroes International qualifier, which means that if the blue team loses the entire series and they're out of the tournament, and Bubai Theory would move on to the losers bracket final. And once again, the quick reminder, this all will accumulate in an offline final in Miami on the 14th, 15th and 16th of October. And yes, make sure that you stop by if you can. It's going to be pretty great to have all the players here. And if you live in Miami or the area, or you want to combine it with a bit of a vacation, that's a perfect opportunity to do exactly that. So, as it stands, we have on level 1 for Nubarak, the Beetle Boy, Regeneration Master. The camp obviously is still one of the most important things here on Aldrich. We've been talking about this a lot in the past in the European tournaments. You need to get that camp whenever possible. There was a little bit of a play by the Bubai Theory up at the top lane where they were trying to use Sylvanas to go for some tower damage. Interestingly enough, they didn't split Nubarak and Sylvanas there, because technically they could have tried to do that on 2 lanes, use Nubarak's Beetle to do it on 1 lane, use Sylvanas on the other, and then get a bit of damage in on both. Instead, they focused all their attention at the top lane, took 1 tower down. That gives them, of course, a bit of a structure lead, so nothing really lost here. Nice little win. The Paralyzing Rage is in after the Austin's renewal for Leoric. And we got Nubarak with a bed of barbs on level 4. Now, this is a map where oftentimes when the prisoner camp is coming up, the teams are not going directly for it, but most of the time you will see teams wait until, let's say, level 7 or even later before they focus their attention really onto the objective. With the Nubarak, you can cheese it a little bit. You can just spawn some beetles that occupy the grunts and then make your play there. And talk about making plays! Much better start for the blue team. They are actually getting the first blood kill in this one as they drop Rega, so nicely done by them. Yeah, it's definitely a much better start than what happened in game number 1. Is that going to be enough to win them the game? That's a very different question, but at least they are able to put a bit of a dent in here, so yeah, good for them. Now, as this is all happening, we of course have once more the camp up on the map, which triggers both of the teams to go straight for it and try and take it down again, as already explained earlier. And Nubarak is apparently trying to cheese this a little bit, is he? Yep. That's a play that Masquerade has been making a lot, but Jace Lineage is paying attention, so they already realized that Nubarak is missing on the map and had one of the heroes just stick around the prisoner camp just to be on the safe side. But that's exactly what you gotta do here. These little small plays to try and see if your opponent is really paying attention or if he can sneak an advantage. And with the Nubarak on all direct pass, he can always go for that little cheesy play, which by now resulted in the European scene, also in some Nubarak bans even, during the draft phase. And again, a quick reminder, if you're currently watching this and you're wondering, hey, why exactly don't we have the drafts in the games this time? Why are they not included in the video? Pretty simple reason, since there is a big time difference. This is all casted from replays, so not directly live, and unfortunately replays don't include draft information or the entire draft process. So for the Korean matches, we can't really rely upon those. But again, once the European qualifiers start, for example, all of that will of course be happening again. So, we have a bit of an advantage now for the Bubai Theory here, as they started to take the objective early on already. Level 7 with the Wizened Duelist right now. On the other side, we now got the Bonds of Corruption for Maiev. We got the Subterranean Shield. And for Orphea, we get the Backbiter and the Insatiable. Yeah, having the schoolgirl once again in the house, already one of the things that could maybe lead to a couple of combos, especially when we see a nice Entomb from Leoric. That could definitely happen. But yeah, time will tell. So again, Anubarak trying to do his thing here. Let's see if we can actually channel this through, because that might even guarantee them the first objective. But we're not quite there yet. This is much better game for Jay's Lineage. I mean, last time there was such a huge advantage and experience at this point in time already for the red team that they were just pulling ahead by nearly 2 levels as level 10 was hitting, and from that point on the blue team just had to sit there and couldn't really do anything, had to play this incredibly passive. This time they will be able to get their ultimates at the same time as the opponent and then try and make a play for this and push us out a bit. So yeah, that would be kind of nice. But let's see if on an eye level battle after level 10 they can maybe turn things around and claim victory on one of the maps here. Early Cocoon already, trying to force the fight here a bit, but Jojo is coming in. Oh, the Wailing Arrow, and Stukov is in real trouble. He's in real danger and probably the first one to fall here on the blue team side. Ancestral is out, Stukov finally dies, but so does Maiev. In comes the Entomb. They can't follow up with another kill, though, can they? Oh, Leo is dead, Jojo is dead, and they are going for the next kill with Sylvanas getting dropped, but it's still a 3 versus 2 in favor of the Bubai Theory. Absolute slaughter here in the first team fight around level 10. And now Rhaegar might be in trouble. He's still trying to escape as Leo is about to come back and the objective still hasn't been taken. So a huge battle between the two teams, which now is likely also going to result in a death of Rhaegar. And yep, Stukov comes in and just stiff arms him completely. So now it's 4 kills to 3, still an advantage for Jay's Lineage. Real fun fight. Nobody really getting the upper hand there. I mean, it's really just trades in kills. Nobody was able to go for the objective on the back of this. But definitely a fun engagement we had between the two teams, and a much more even one now for the blue team. But of course, the teams still are looking for objective number 1, as we still have the camps on the map, and immediately Sylvanas is making her way back over towards it so that they can claim it here. And they're, by the way, the only ones. That's also where Rhaegar comes into play. He really helps them with the clear speed now. On the left side, it's Greymane who has to try and make that happen for the blue team. But there it is, Anubarak is starting to cheese it again, and this time they might just be able to get that camp. So they're getting closer and closer to the first objective, and that's a bit of a problem. But it gets stopped once more, 11 seconds are left. Dehaka, they're still playing with the global, so the strategy on the side of the Bubai Theory hasn't really changed too much in regards to their macro approach. They have one global in their game, they want to have Dehaka on the side lane, and they of course have now the power to pressure on multiple lanes at once if they execute that properly. And Uberak is just annoying them over and over again at the campus. He's always attempting to sneak in another approach here. Yeah, they got Orphea, the schoolgirl in trouble. Detention, baby! Ah, maybe not yet. Gets still attacked as the Nubra comes in, and also the Arca started to attack from behind. Couldn't quite make that work yet. The tether is there for Maiev, and the fight is ongoing with the Hooligan dying first. Wailing Arrow being used, and it leads to Orphea dying. She's down, and we have Sylvanas eliminated. It's really another blow-for-blow battle as teams are trading kills. Hammer against Maiev. Jeez, and now Stukov is dead too. This is getting ridiculous here. Amazing fight with only one survivor, and even he falls. So that is a 5-man team wipe, and Jay's Lineage is all of a sudden in the driver's seat. 9 kills to 4. They have a slight lead in experience. And that's where we're gonna have the first objective very likely dropped into the hands of the blue team. Yeah, they're trying to fight back here. They're trying to make sure that they are at least locking one victory in. But they gotta be careful too. Seems like they won't be able to get the objective yet after all. Spread themselves out a little bit too thin, and Jojo alone was not able to hold this against Hooligan, who came back early. So, yep, here we are. They're still fighting for this. 9.5 minutes in, and they're still fighting for objective number 1. 27,000 damage by Dehaka. We got 30,000 by Orphea. And again, towards the top. We have Dehaka trying to lock some extra experience in for the red team and then join the fight. But the battle is immediately being focused again in the middle between the two prisoner camps, as both of them are trying to go for the first objective here. It's actually a it's one of the closest early games that I've seen in a while on this particular map. Dehaka still getting some value up at the top. The first tower was, of course, taken down very early, thanks to that Sylvanas push that they executed. But here comes Dehaka, trying to come in. Looks for the drag, doesn't find it. Cage is down, so is the tether. Stuns are happening as both teams are unleashing all of their CC. 9 kills to 5. And the first kill in the fight at hand could be Maya, but she gets out of the battle. Instead, it's Sylvanas that falls. And Rhaegar. We now got 11 kills to 5 in favor of Jace lineage. And the Bubai theory is starting to struggle a bit on this one. Yeah, they really are. Especially Sylvanas is just getting slapped around in all of these fights. I mean, hard. Now, Rhaegar dying didn't help their cause either. Without the support, there's pretty much no comeback in a situation like this. And now the blue team is maybe even getting a little bit greedy. Yeah, they wanted the boss too. Couldn't get it in time. They couldn't activate it before the objective was locked in. But now we got also on level 16 again the Mithril Mace for Leos. They have a small talent advantage. Nothing crazy, because so far we had topside Dehaka still giving them more and more experience. But it's still a bit of a concern here for the Bubai theory. And that push with the cavalry could now be a real problem, considering that we will most likely see multiple forts be destroyed. Full synergy with the Earthgrasp Totem now on level 16. We also got the Will of the Forsaken. That might finally help Sylvanas to survive, because as I already mentioned before, she definitely struggled a bit so far. She died 3 times already. The only one that died more than her is Rhaegar, who had murdered quite a lot. But the defense is looking surprisingly good, I gotta say. They were able to hold the fort in the mid lane, and they are... Guys, I actually think they're not gonna lose a single one. They're doing way better with this. Now, this is obviously still objective number 1. But regardless, kudos. Pretty well done. 91,000 siege damage for Maiev, 92 for Leo. And Dehaka is at 61,000. But if you look at the experience gained, Leo and Dehaka, the two side laners, obviously the top dogs in the house. But look at minion experience in general. This is really where Dehaka comes in. He was able to sneak a lot of the experience in that normally would be lost to a team because of the global. And that's where, therefore, a huge advantage for the Bubai theory comes into play. And that makes up for quite a lot of the hero's experience advantage that we're seeing for Jay's lineage. It's actually a pretty nice macro approach here. If not for the Dehaka on that side lane, they would struggle a lot more in this game now. Top side, a little bit of a drag straight into the tower range. Alright, so Leo loses some of his hit points here. Battle in the mid lane also still continues. Structural damage has happened, but nothing that forced to keep down yet, or fort for that matter. And it's party time again. Hooligan, a little bit low here. Yeah, Orphea is like slapping, hitting hard with that coffin. I mean, you can really pack a punch with that coffin. It's a pretty heavy thing. It contains all of the hopes and dreams of the HGC Pro player, so that thing is weighing a ton. If you get slapped with that, I mean, whew, then you're getting absolutely murdered. So, yeah. 11 kills to 5. But this battle is not over. It's actually kind of fascinating. We're at level 18. First objective and we're at level 18. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. So many kills already here too. Top side, they're still pushing. They want to go for Leo and they get him. Even drops the Entomb, but I'm not sure they can flank it against Dehaka. Instead, they're facing the full power of the Bubai theory here in the middle between the two camps again. It is the red team, though, that is trying to make a play for objective number 2 now. And they definitely got everything that they need. It's a 5 versus 4 advantage for a bit longer. Leo will be back soon, but they already started. That little play by Stukov arrived too late to go for an interrupt. He was trying to set the lurking arm up properly so that nobody could channel, but yep, that didn't work out. So he has the advantage again, but he gets cut down, but not for long. So yep, we are 25 seconds for them now. And they're splitting again. And Sylvanas is doing what she has to do. I talked about this ad nauseum, and I want to say it again. Always take that camp when you can. If you at some point are able to do that in your own games and your opponent doesn't, that's where things usually fall apart. But The blue team is already on it too. A little bit slower here now this time. But while this push is already happening and Sylvanas is helping to push the waves out, they are starting to send Anubarak towards the camp again to try and fight for the objective. This is a bit of a problem on the other hand, because this means that Jay's lineage is now very close to taking the first fort down. Maiev barely was able to stop it from happening, and both of the teams are now super close to level 20. So yeah, there we are. We got Dehaka at the bot lane. He's, by the way, trying to do the same thing here and might even succeed. Ophia is now slowly moving in an attempt to save this one, but I don't think that's going to happen. So they are sacrificing it. They're sacrificing the fort. Ophia realizes it and immediately moves towards the top to help out the rest of the team in the team fight that is sure to happen here. In the middle of the map, similar situation now as well. This one might fall, as does Leo, and the fight continues here. But the objective has been claimed. This time it's the Bubai Theory that successfully channels it, and they take down Jojo too. Greymane gets destroyed, and they might even be able to get another kill, maybe even two. They go for Ophia. She's dead, so is Stukov. 5-man team wipe. As the Bubai Theory is setting up for a really big blow now. They got Sylvanas, which is going to make that push so much more dangerous. And it's just the perfect timing here. Not only do they get the objective, but they also kill 5 heroes in the process. Both teams now with level 20 abilities. The first fort already destroyed. And just look at this value here. They are taking everything down right now. They're going straight for the keep and drop this easily. 11 kills to 11 after it looked so good for Jay's lineage early on. And wow, they're even going for the core? What? Yeah, that's always a bit of a gamble, but they're killing Leo quickly, and now they got another 10 seconds left. Yep. If they are executing it this quickly, then that's definitely possible. Death timers are high enough. They're going for the gamble here despite the 2 armor shields, and it seems like they're going to be able to pull it off. The Bubai Theory, the perfect call here towards the end of the game as they lock in a 2-0 lead over Jay's lineage. GG, well played. Game number 3, the 2-0 lead for the Bubai Theory. Damn, these guys are not kidding around with their calls, are they? They win one big team fight and make the call to go for core and take the game. If I'm on Jay's lineage, I'm a little bit pissed right now because it seemed for a long time like they had the game in the back, or at least had the advantage there. Now they're looking again at Greymane. They really like him. 3rd time. We're in Battlefield. We got Stukov and Anubarak for them. Still playing this out with Ophia, and Mal'Ganis is in the house as well. Towards the right side of the map, we got Hoga, Rega, Diablo, Hanzo, and Genji. The Shimada brothers are in the house. And again, since this is a best of 5, this also means a victory for the Bubai Theory would close out the series, kick Jay's lineage out of the qualification tournament, and move the red team to the loser bracket final. So yeah, they're going to do their best to accomplish exactly that. Now we got the Legion of Beetles on level 1. And again, quick reminder, especially for the people watching this on YouTube right now, if you want to help the tournament a little bit, and we're talking about the offline tournament here, then check out the links in the video description. There's a link to the website where you get all the information about the qualifiers for Europe and North America, also the information for the main event, the location, prize money, again $11,000 and everything else. And if you want to support the Heroes of the Storm scene a little bit, this is the first offline event with Korea, North America and Europe that we have ever since HGC was killed by Blizzard. So if you'd like to support that a bit, you can do that through the crowdfunding that is linked in the description, and every single donation is matched by an equal one through our sponsors. So keep that in mind. And well, if you can't, at least mark down the dates, because it's going to be pretty epic. We're going to have a great show. The donation goes to helping the teams with all of the transfer costs, with making sure that, for example, the Koreans can all fly in properly, also for production to get additional hardware and make the entire show just better and better, get additional casters on board, and so on and so forth. But as we're now heading in, we are still going to try and find out through the qualifier which team is the first one to make it from the Koreans. I like, by the way, how they're always like matching the sprays the entire time already. They've had some fun with that, and I can definitely appreciate that. We got a 3-2 split now all of a sudden. So both of the teams are not going for the traditional 4-1 lineup that we have on this particular map, but it's a bit of a different split here that they're experimenting with. We have on level 1 also the on point, and yeah, kind of curious to see how who takes it here. I mean, Hogger on the top lane is obviously already a bit of a win, especially on the camps. Then in addition to that, you have also the Hanzo arrows that can chunk down the Immortal very quickly. Whereas Mal'Ganis is an interesting touch here. So they're essentially playing this with a bit of a double tank, playing Mal'Ganis on the side lane right now instead. And he can set things up also for Ophir. If that's going to be successful for them or not, that's an interesting one. I mean, on the European side, we don't see too much Mal'Ganis. I think we saw him once. I want to say it was in the latest X-Cup playoffs. Might have been the Masters Clash finals. Not 100% certain. Usually when you see Mal'Ganis in Europe, it's Lauber that plays him. But most of the time, he's disregarded as a frontliner. Whereas it's interesting to see him here. But is that going to help them to win the game? Because they need to win 3 in a row now if they want to advance to the next round. So let's see if they can make that happen. First objective is already up, and immediately the Shimadas are starting to go for it. Genji has to move out here. We still have at the top the camp being defended a bit more by Hogger, so he's doing his best, but just look how quickly they're taking this one down. Rhaegar jumping in just before the stun hits him, but there's no chance here in the race for Jay's lineage. Not when you have Hanzo instantly making his move towards the Immortal. He's just too powerful on the objective. One of the main reasons why he's such a popular hero to be drafted on this map. And right now the blue team has decided that they want to make sure that they defend this as best they can. But it's not looking too great, honestly. With Hanzo's poke from a distance and Genji moving in every now and then for a hit or two as well, it starts to become very, very, yeah, unrealistic that they are going to turn the tides here. Greymane, he of course chunks it down too, but I don't think that he's going to have that much more time left. He does a fairly decent job, but he's just not fast enough. So Hogger is poking it out. They're already retreating here. But I gotta give some kudos to Greymane. He at least reduced the shield down to 50%. That's more than I expected after they started. So, yeah, here we go. We got the first Immortal for the Bubai Theory. Not a single kill yet in the game, and everybody is starting to go down towards the bot lane right now. So, alright, level 7 is on the board. We got the never outmatched after the serrated arrows, full on in the arrow build. As usual, all got the seeing red in. And with the level 7 talent, you know what? They actually have a pretty good stance here to maybe take the fort down a notch. Especially if they can get a kill, and they nearly got it against the Nubarak. But he was able to just move away from it. Now we have a level 7 on both sides as the blue team also locked in the additional talent. The fort takes damage, but it still can be defended. So nothing lost just yet. Bit of structural damage, and Nubarak with a bit of a flip here and gets bullied around by a hooligan as he moves in and tries to take them down too. So yeah, nicely done. We also got a pull. Yeah, get slapped, baby! Ophir, look at that. She's absolutely crushing Hanzo in that engage. Love it. First kill in the game for Jay's lineage. And now the opening towards the camp that they can take too. But that was nice. She just swatted Hanzo away like he was just a little fly. Absolutely love that. So yes, Coffin Girl once again, just ruthless assault here against the Soy Boy. Now, we got the first camp taken, but of course the death timers are still very, very short this early in the game. And both teams are now still looking at another camp topside, and everybody from the blue team is already making their move towards that. And trying to go for this. Ophir still down at the bottom of the map on the other hand. They really want this one, and I think they're gonna get it. So both of the camps taken by the blue team. Good for them. And, well, we're still waiting for level 10 abilities. And the next objective is already up. Big dive, by the way, for Ophir at the bot lane. So Hanzo and Diablo looking for a kill that they couldn't get. Ophir playing this as safe as possible. As possible as she could in that situation. And here we go again. Yeah, it's obviously kind of useful if you now have 2 tanks at your front line. You have a lot of CC that you can use in these team fights, and especially with the stuns and the sleep, there's a lot of CC that can be utilized to set up potential kills. The problem is that they abandoned the top lane completely, and Hogger is taking full advantage of this by simply taking the fort down to 50%, which means both of the forts are now fairly low. So that's a little bit of a problem. Now, level 10 abilities, a bit faster for Jace lineage. That could give them the lead that they need here on the objective, and they're immediately trying to go for it. So the souls get locked in. There we have level 10 for both teams now. But the halftime show at least might end up in the hands of Jace lineage, as now the red team is starting to make a move for this. Horde Pult is in. They can go for quite a bit of diving here. Level 10 versus level 10, and only Stukov hasn't made a choice yet. He's the only one who's still holding back his heroic ability. And when we're looking over to Mal'Ganis, he went for the Dark Conversion. If he can land that, he might be able to capitalize on it. But now that Hanzo's getting closer to the Immortal again, the blue team has to be a bit wary, since this might well turn the tides on the objective. They haven't won the halftime show just yet. But there's the Cocoon, tried to escape it, couldn't. And that's the fight being forced here, but no problem for the Bubai Theory. The arrow is out. They look for the kill, but they can't get it just yet. And once again, the Feast of Orphea is just continuing. Big damage from her. Greymane is still looking for the kill. They couldn't get a single one yet. They were going for Hogger, but they couldn't drop him. Instead, they make the move for Rega, and he's down. Rega dead, Diablo dead as well. That's a double kill, everybody. 3 kills to 0 now in favor of the team in blue. Jay's lineage, as they did on the last map, is taking these early game kills. They are the ones, on the other hand, that lost both of the maps, so that's a bit of a problem. And the question is still, can they turn this around or not? They need to win 3 games in a row. I honestly still feel a bit bad for them considering what happened on Aldrich Pass, because on that map it just looked so good for them, and it would have been a completely different game. It was a 1-1 score at this point in time. But the Bubai Theory, with very good late game calls, they already proved it in the previous games and previous matches, but now they do it again in this best of 5 here, the losers bracket. The kill against Orphea, though, also gives them a leg up in the team fight. Big arrow that misses completely. Could have been a big hit here if it just connected. Stukov still dies. 3 heroes were able to escape, and at the top we have the Immortal facing off solo against the wall. And now with Hanzo and Genji moving in, the Shimada brothers, together with Rega, are likely gonna take it down before it can even reach the fort. So the objective gets locked in by Jay's lineage, but they are not able to get a whole lot out of it. Instead, it's 2 kills for the Bubai Theory that make the defense just so much easier for them now. And there it is. So we got 19,000 damage for Genji and 36,000 already for Orphea. Some of the ults that she threw out in the last fight definitely did a number on them. But they are, of course, the first ones to lose a fort now. And for the blue team, that means that they have to really focus on objective number 3 and try to turn the momentum here. They're still very close in experience, but they have lost their edge a bit. Now they're trying to go for another kill. Nice. Orphea with another big hit here, at least initially. Gets a few more out. Yeah, not too bad. But the kill on Greymane, on Hogger, they might be able to get it. Big arrow. Hogger is still alive, made it out of the fight, which in and of itself is ridiculous. And then with the arrow, they're able to get the kill on Greymane. That's just crazy. That's just absolutely crazy. So yeah, there's a little replay of what just happened here. But I mean, just check this one out. So initially, they're focusing everything on Hogger. And then he pongs out of this. The arrow comes in, hits them full on, and a kill by Genji against Greymane allows them to push it now for the fort. So they take the second fort out too. It's 3 kills to 3. Big arrow being played out here. And a level lead for the Bubai Theory. They want game number 3. They want this one as well. And up to now, things are looking very, very good. This is also going to give them a bit of an advantage for the objective now, of course. And they can even go for the camp earlier than that. So even better. Create a bit of a hotspot up at the top. Go for the objective. And the opponent is trying to do the exact same thing. But they're a little bit late. So they lost a bit of time compared to the blue team. which they are now using right away to get a lead on the third objective of game number 3 in this best of 5 here at the Heroes International. And they're getting it quite low here. So, good job already. They go for Diablo. Oh, the arrow. Too late here. Cocoon was out. Genji gets focused. And Hanzo tries to save his brother. Misses the arrow as the target was already killed. Now they're going for Hooligan and they drop him too. So Diablo is dead. So is Genji. At least the Lord of Terror will be back in a jiffy since he had all of the soul stacks together. But this needs to be dealt with. And they need to also go for the Immortal now and try to win the objective here after all. But I gotta give it to Jay's Lineage. They are actually doing better and better. After game number 1, I'm not gonna lie guys, I really thought this would be a total blowout. They were dominated, absolutely dominated. But this is looking way better now for the blue team. They are 0-2 though, so this could still be, at least in theory or on paper, a very easy win for the Bubai Theory if they can win another late game fight and turn things around. But generally speaking, you can really tell that Jay's Lineage is starting to show what they're made of and doing their best to fight back into this best of 5. And again, the tournament life is on the line here. This qualifier is for the first spot for the offline event in Miami, and obviously both teams are more than eager to get a chance to go to the event. But right now we have half a level missing until level 16 talents, and boy, these Hanzo arrows and that little rotation there is just a bit too much. Jay's Lineage, they lose the Immortal. Here comes the objective, the arrow again as they're trying to go for another big team fight. Hanzo is low, Greymane wants the kill, and Greymane gets the kill. Takes Hanzo down, the counter kill on the other hand, drops Stukov, and Nubarak is dead as well. They're trying to come in for a third kill, and I guess they're going to get it. They might even get a fourth. They're already moving in for a Fia, and Coffin Girl is dead, and now Mal'Ganis is desperately attempting to escape here, as one totem after another gets dropped by Rhaegar, slows him down, he's dead, 4 heroes gone, and honestly, this is a flashback situation to what happened in game number 2. Again, they lost nearly the entire team. Level 16 is ready, and here comes the push power of the Bubai Theory as they are starting to go straight for the keep and maybe even more. Yeah, that's kind of nuts. So, can they go for the core? They shouldn't be able to. Hanzo has his arrow back in 10 seconds. The problem is that if you get another kill or two here, that would of course be a massive lead. But it's a bit of a gamble if you're going for the core here. If you can get a kill, that's a different story. And Diablo is looking for an opportunity and is setting it up right away. Big arrow hitting to Stukov low. The core is losing hit points and losing them quickly. This might just be another short victory here. The Bubai Theory for the 3rd time in a row with a great call here in the late game as they take this series with a 3-0 and move on to the loser bracket final of the qualifier. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.